All right, everyone. Um, what a fight. Look, it took me a few days to get this out. YouTube's on my back, so I apologize for the hiccups in what I'm trying to do. Um, won't show the whole video right now. I'll try to do that in a way where it's not going to get taken down. But I just wanted to spend a few minutes just discussing the fight, the main event. I watched all the fights, scored all the fights on fight night. Watched them again today, and want to do the full fight analysis round by round if and when I'm able to do so. So if you have the video and you can somehow lend that my way and you know how this works, by all means, let me know. Um, so let's get right to it, right? So uh, there's levels in boxing, and I think that showed on Saturday, right? So you may or may not have watched my weigh-in video. Um, one of the points I was trying to make before the fight, and I didn't make any strong predictions this time, but I'm known to make them. So uh, tune in. Um, Size is not for me. For me as a person, as an individual, as a fighter, as an analyst, size is not a big deal. Other people will tell you differently. There are people who swear that the bigger guy is going to win the fight. There are people who swear that the longer guy is going to win the fight. And there's a lot of people out there who think that you have to be an exceptional, historically great fighter to beat bigger guys. These are misconceptions. Misconceptions, right? So let me quickly review my scorecard. A lot of people probably saw it differently. I don't let the announcers sway me. As a matter of fact, I like watching fights without announcers because oftentimes, they either kind of don't really know what they're talking about or they're just kind of biased. Can't do it, man. Can't let other people sway how you analyze a fight. It's what you see, right? Period. So really quickly, right? I only gave Garcia one round, and it was the first round. I know you can give him a few rounds maybe in there. I could see you arguing the fourth because he landed a great shot. Not enough for me. Not enough. One shot. The only way one shot wins you the round in my book is if that shot puts you down. Okay, an additional exception. It was the only punch thrown in the fight, right? So, let's do it this way, right? So what did I see, right? First, I'm going to go over what I saw at a high level. Then I'm going to say what Ryan did and didn't do well. Then I'm going to go over what Tank did and didn't do well, right? And then I'm just going to give kind of my conclusions, right? So I don't know. I'm going to try to put some sort of structure behind it. Otherwise, I'm just going to bounce all over the place. There's levels, right? There's levels in this sport, and it shows, right? To me, Davis is levels above Garcia, right? And for me to believe otherwise, I would have to see a rematch where Garcia dominates or just shows a Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like just shows a completely different level beyond what we've seen, right? From the get-go, I could tell that Davis was more comfortable. He was sharper. He was calmer. He was more in control. He was executing his game plan. I think, surprisingly, the moment I don't know if the moment got to Garcia or he realized, because as a fighter, maybe he realized really early on that, Davis was a class above his, and maybe that intimidated him. Maybe he's not used to that. Maybe he's not used to being in the ring with somebody who, you will make you tentative. Davis more or less did what he wanted. He was careful. He fought a careful fight, especially in the early rounds. I mean, but he out two punches, I remember. Two punches across the whole fight, where Garcia actually really, really hit him and hurt him. Again, hurt him not long enough, not enough, but And in both those cases, I didn't even give Garcia the round. Because again, one punch, listen, you can land 2 great power punches and do nothing else in the round. That is not enough for me. Not the way I score fights. Ring generalship. I need to see more. I need to see more of a complete picture. I'm not a guy who gives rounds to people who steal rounds at the end. You know what I mean? That's an approach in this sport. Oh, I'm going to go off in the last 25, 30 seconds and win the judges. Not this guy. So, listen. Garcia didn't do enough, in my opinion. Now, part of that goes to Davis's credit because he was in control. He had sharp punches, fast punches, speed. His footwork was impeccable. The confidence was there. He was executing his game plan. Garcia showed promise, especially in the beginning, but he didn't do enough, right? So let me start with Garcia. What did he do well? What did he not do well? He starts off well because he throws a jab, right? And he attempts to settle into what we call an educated jab, right? But he does nothing beyond that, right? You have to do more than that. At this level, at the highest level, you can't jab your opponent to a victory. This is not the amateurs. You have to do more than that. And if you're fighting an elite fighter, and I think if this fight doesn't show it, what fight will? Well, okay, so he's fought decent competition, but I mean, Davis is an elite fighter, right? He's not some can that you're bringing in to pad a resume, right? He's a legit opponent. You have to do more than that. He tried to establish. So this is something else that a consistent point that I'm going to hammer home through any video that I do. Just because you control the center of the ring doesn't mean you're in control. And just because you control the center, just because you're in the center of the ring doesn't mean that I'm going to give you points for ring generalship. This is a perfect example of fighting from the outside and maintaining control. Every time that Davis feinted, threw a punch, simply advanced, Garcia's reaction was negative. Every time he would back up. You can't back up every single time. And if you do back up every single time, it should be back up with a quick duck, bam, throw something back. But if you're never countering, if you never hold your ground, if you never show and try to show the judges and the ref that, look, no matter where I stand, this is my fight, you're to somebody like me who scores ring generalship, it's not gonna happen, right? It's not gonna happen. You're not in control. He's allowing you to have the center of the ring. That's a different story than you taking the center of the ring and controlling it and not giving up. If I feel I'm superior to you in the ring, I may be perfectly fine with letting you have the center of the ring because it may not matter to me, right? If my footwork is superior, where is my footwork gonna do the most? On the outer rim of the center of the ring, right? Because my lateral movements pay off more, right? You can do it anywhere, right? But I mean, ultimately, it's a tactic in and of itself, in my opinion. If you've got a slower guy, you know that the guy's slower and he's kind of chasing you around and he doesn't know how to cut the ring off, let him have the center of the ring because he's going to be lost in the middle of the deep sea. Right? You're the one who's like you're dancing around him, you know what I mean? You're taking the lead. So his jabs were okay at times. And there was a couple times when he actually tried to let his hands go. And one of those times, at least, he actually landed another good shot. Other than that, it's just not enough, right? And so you have to put more punches together. If you're going to be in the center of the ring, make an attempt to legitimately control the fight. And if you know you're not in control of the center of the ring, then make your opponent uncomfortable. There's many ways to try to bother your opponent. And by bothering him, I mean making him uncomfortable so that then you can take advantage of that situation, move into a different position, throw different punches, give him different looks. All of that Davis was doing, and Davis was doing it in control. He would change levels, right? He would throw at different speeds. He would throw different punches. He would be in constant movement. So I made a couple notes here. I'm just trying to remind myself on Garcia specifically, right? Pushes over punches. There's a few times that I saw this. I don't know if it's because he tried to push him or he's just that nervous and discombobulated where his punches are just that awkward right now. But like Davis would be in close, and instead of letting off crisp, clean punches in succession, put together a combination. No, half punch, half shove, right? Come on now. You were supposed to come into this fight being known as a fast fighter, right? A fast fighter doesn't need to shove his opponent around. A fast fighter, in and out. Hit, don't be hit. Not precise, right? A lack of precision outside of every now and then throwing a good crisp jab when nothing else is going on. Like, he's not doing enough, and he's not hitting what he's throwing. He put together that toward the end of the fight, there was like a 3-punch combination that he throws while Davis is moving laterally, which is a good time. It can be a good time to throw because you may catch him in movement, but he throws it too late, and he telegraphs his punches. You see it coming a mile away, so he misses every one, and he looks terrible. And he's lucky that Davis didn't do more, because if Davis comes with the right punch, then that's another knockdown. Davis, right? Too fast, too crisp. His IQ is just too high for Garcia. What he throws, almost everything he was throwing, he was hitting cleanly, and what he wasn't, a lot of those punches were not the punch to land, right? In a 5-punch combination, one of those punches can be meaningful. 2 of those punches can be meaningful. They can all be meaningful, but it is a sign of high IQ, high ring IQ, if you know how to change speed and you know how to come with, for example, 2 punches that have nothing on them, but they're fast, right? And then one comes with power, right? And then you follow up with 2 more power shots, right? So understand that change speed and change intensity and power. You don't have to put everything behind every punch. Also, they don't all have to be shoe shines, right? But Davis I'm not going to say he fought a perfect fight, but he fought an outstanding fight, right? Like I went over before, right? He maintained control from the outside, and it's noticeable, right? Because again, everything he does, Garcia reacts to negatively, right? He's not reacting positively. A positive reaction is a counter, right? Didn't happen. Not nearly enough. Maybe happened once. I know he threw a couple, but they're so slow. I mean, Davis is faster than him, notably faster than him. And you could just tell that he was constantly a step ahead. He knew when he was moving laterally that he would force Garcia to come at him, and Garcia's not that great at cutting off the ring. He was following him around too much. He's always leading with the exact same jab. It's his best punch, but it's not enough, and he saw it coming every single time. It was almost starting to piss me off. Davis would hang. He would hang out his probing jab. I love when a fighter does it, but I love it because it pisses you off when they do it to you, right? Like if a fighter ever probes and paws and sits and just parks his glove in front of your face, you're being toyed with. There's just no other way to put it. That guy considers himself so superior to you that he's willing to just rest his glove on your nose because he knows that if you try and throw something, you're going to catch a jab, or a million other ways he can just embarrass you from that point, right? Never let a fighter do that to you. There's a lot of ways to go around it, right? You duck around, you make them pay, you stay in movement, you paw it away, and you constantly throw punches back, but never let a fighter do that to you. It's just, trust me, if a fighter does that to you, he's playing with you like a cat plays with a mouse. So takeaways. I'm not going to make it a long video because we're not doing RBR. What are my takeaways? What are the conclusions? Listen, someone said Garcia had the fastest hands in boxing. You need to hit the gym, sir. I don't understand that take at all. Garcia was notably faster than him tonight, and I don't think he has the fastest hands in boxing. Someone said Garcia was the next De La Hoya. You need to go watch some De La Hoya fights. De La Hoya was greatness. De La Hoya knew how to steal around the right way. He had probably the most perfect jab I've ever seen in boxing. And I'll defend that statement. And we can do De La Hoya fights on here. Actually, as a matter of fact, he's on the list. We're going to do one before the end of April. Instagram followers do not win fights, right? I mean, listen, I get it. Garcia, you know, in his own way is trying to do a positive thing for boxing. Listen, maybe less Instagram and more gym work, my guy, because tonight I didn't see it. And tonight the world was supposed to see it. Disrespectful toward De La Hoya that they compare you to him. Straight up. I don't care if you have 1 billion Instagram followers. You don't win belts that way. So, final comments. Davis didn't show everything. He didn't even show everything. He didn't even need to pull every tool out of the toolbox. And Garcia didn't show enough. Didn't show enough. This isn't the amateurs. You're not going to win a fight with one jab. It's not going to happen. You didn't show enough, and the other guy didn't show everything he had. So what does that tell you about your effort? Or what does that tell you about your level, right? Take it one or two ways. Go mope about it. Go jump on people like me who criticize you. Or use it as motivation and come back stronger. I don't know. But it's not my decision to make. Either way, it was a good fight. 2 big knockdowns. By the way, before I go, that body shot, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we have to appreciate that body shot. It's a textbook. So it's so important to protect shots from the body. And on the other side of things, it's so important to go to the body. I think a lot of young fighters blow off body shots a little bit more than they do ones and twos and hooks. Listen, you hit them right in the liver, and that delayed reaction is like clockwork, right? De La Hoya versus Bernard Hopkins. Well, we're on the De La Hoya note, right? Another example, if you land the perfect body shot, that man is going to go down. He's going to go down. It's biology. Like, you're just going to flip a switch. It was epic. There's just no other way. So, I don't know. Hell of a fight. You got to give it to Davis. You know what I mean? He's who I thought he was. You know, I did great. Garcia is in a way who I also thought he was. You know, I wasn't going to say he was overrated, but I also, you know, I know, you know, there's sometimes you try and push a name too hard. You know what I mean? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, I'm not writing him off either. He should bounce back. You can't drop a guy too hard for a loss, but a loss will tell you a lot about a guy. So, you know, there's a lot of takeaways, right? And there will be more takeaways as we progress and see where both go from here. Enjoy your evening. Warriors fans like me, listen, we need one game to put away the Kings, and we're chasing a title. These Splash Brothers are the greatest thing the hardwood has ever seen. So we keep it boxing on this channel. I'm still trying to do a fight a day. YouTube is, you know, I'm trying to roll with the punches here. YouTube's throwing them from every angle. So, you know, I got to watch my toes. But I try and do RBRs. I try and play videos for RBRs. And, you know, depending on the host and the fight, I either get away with it or I don't. And you know, I'm fighting and I'm appealing a little bit and making my case. But I'm still going to try and do what I do. Boxing and nothing but boxing here. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna analyze. We're gonna score, and that's that. Enjoy your evening, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'll try and drop a fight tomorrow, and we'll see what we do this weekend.